Good afternoon, super friends, and welcome to the Wednesday, January 24th edition of the Sacred News and Weather. My lighting problem has not resolved itself, but I did finish up with clients a little bit earlier today, and so I'm not completely washed out by the sunlight. So I am in my regular little spot to deliver today's message. I don't have any preconceived ideas of where we're going, so we're just going to go ahead in and hope that Spirit delivers me something. I thought I would just give it a go now while the lighting was good and before my son came home from music camp and wants my attention for a little bit. So, as with everything I do, please take what resonates and leave the rest behind and know that these messages are timeless. So, whether you're tuning in real time on not January, goodness gracious, June 24th, I keep doing that this month, June 24th, or at a later date, know that if you're tuning in, there probably is something here for you. But if there isn't, go ahead and turn me off. Scroll down below. There are plenty of messages. There's almost 300 messages here for you to tune into or stand by and tune in tomorrow. There's always more where this one came from. My name is Dana. I'm an intuitive, I'm a healer, I'm a medium, I'm a mom, I'm a nurse, I'm a channeler, and these messages are being channeled from the energy of this collective. So whether you have been watching me for a while now, and thank you very much if you have, or you're just tuning in, I will hopefully be feeling into your energy. If you want me to tune a little more closely or tune myself a little more closely to you, go ahead and comment, go ahead and like, go ahead and subscribe. The more you do that, the more likely it is that I will be able to feel you and what's happening in your world directly. So, all right, I'm going to shut up now and start talking. That didn't make very much sense, but you know what I mean. Okay, here we go. Hmm. So I'm seeing a little bit of like I'm hearing the word waiting and I'm seeing a little bit of yesterday's message coming through. And so I feel like we might be moving into a continuation of that message. And I'm just going to be quiet for a moment to see if I can get really clear so that I'm not babbling and repeating myself over and over again as the message comes through. Okay, the feeling is I have the energy of a masculine, and it feels like the masculine is sort of sitting on not feeling, sitting on okay, there's a masculine and there's a feminine, and they are together. It should be energetically, it should be reversed. The feminine is usually on the left and the masculine is usually on the right. But right now I have the masculine over here and the feminine over here, which is telling me that the feminine is probably more in her masculine energy, and the masculine, if these are gendered, is probably a little bit more in his feminine energy. That is coming through. So however you identify yourself and wherever you see yourself here, let that be the case. Don't try too hard to find yourself and gender yourself or all of those things. We all have all of the energy inside of us. But what I'm feeling is a masculine who is more attuned to his feeling body and a feminine who is more attuned to her thinking body in this moment in time and space. And I'm seeing the energy between the two of you. And what I'm seeing between the two of you is something that is unspoken that needs to be spoken before these two can actually come together. And again, I don't know if they're coming together romantically or if they're coming together in friendship or if they're coming together to work towards something. I can't, it's going to be different for all of you. I'm tuning into a lot of different threads of energy right now and getting this imagery. So wherever you see yourself, but the feeling is that there's something between them that is being left unsaid, and both of them are not speaking, but the feeling is that the feminine sort of has her arms crossed energetically and is like looking away. The feeling is that she has her arms crossed and she's looking away. And he is much more in his emotional and feeling body. And so I'm going to focus for a moment on him, on the masculine in his feeling body to see what I can get. And the feeling that I have is a lot of grief. I'm feeling a lot of fear. I'm feeling a lot of heartbreak, and I'm feeling like it's not entirely related to the feminine here. I'm seeing a lot of past trauma, both past life trauma and past this lifetime trauma. I'm seeing a lot of trauma that is being processed. I'm seeing a lot of trauma that has already been processed, and I'm seeing like almost a place of peace. But what I can see here in this almost place of peace is that there is peace between them that wants to happen that is not happening. And part of the reason why the peace between them is not happening is because what is between them is being left unsaid. The feeling that I get from this masculine is that there is very much a great deal of love and respect for this feminine, but I'm also seeing that like almost as if he's gazing at her and then turning like he is gazing into a mirror and seeing her turned away with her arms crossed and feeling this feeling of like not good enough, not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'll never be good enough, like and this fear, the fear and the not good enough feels like it's a reflection, but what I'm seeing is it's actually a false mirror. It's like he believes that he's looking in the mirror and like gazing through a window. That's what it is. It's like he's gazing through a window and seeing her, and he's not wrong to see her with her arms crossed and her back toward him. But what he's actually seeing is a reflection of himself and his own fear and his own lack of worth. But he's putting it over here on her as if this is something that she is seeing in him. And I'll tune into her and see if I can get more information from her because she's definitely in her thinking body and not her feeling body. So we'll come over here in a moment, but I want to stay with him for a few more moments here and see if I can get something more. I can feel him in his fear. I can feel him in his lack of self-worth. I can feel where there is betrayal energy, and I say that because I'm actually hearing the word betrayal. There is betrayal energy, and the betrayal energy can like I can see where it runs the gamut. I was just shown like a diagram of like something that is ramping up, like and from like the smallest betrayal is like the betrayal of that happened because of fear and a pulling away that happened because of fear, all the way up to like a cheating or stealing or like big lies. And I can see where all of you will find your truth on the spectrum, where you land on this spectrum. But I can see that there are many possibilities for many different versions of this truth. But this masculine is definitely feeling the ramifications of the betrayal. He is feeling fear in coming forward into this space, into this shared mutual space, and bringing forward the truth into this space. And the feeling is that what I just heard when I'm going back to waiting because I'm hearing waiting. The feeling is that if he waits long enough, this feminine might actually forget about the betrayal and he can come forward and pretend like none of this ever happened, is what I'm feeling. And I think I'm giggling because I think he can feel his own ridiculousness in this belief, but it's like there's just like this hope, this like, and it's you know what? I'm giggling also because it has a sweetness to it. Like there's a sweetness to the hope that if he puts enough time and distance between their like what happened between them, the fracture, the rupture between them, and the time he comes forward, the degree, now I'm seeing like the downward slope. It's like the degree of the severity of the betrayal is going to go down in direct proportion to the amount of time that it takes for him to come forward. But he's even sort of laughing at himself as I'm giggling with him too, because it's wishful thinking and it's not actually the truth of the matter. And you all know here on the Sacred News and Weather that I am a believer in radical truth telling. I always believe that the truth will set you free, no matter how difficult. Like if your person's betrayal or if your betrayal is really up here on the lying, cheating, stealing, stabbing, murdering spectrum, the truth is still going to drop into the center and it's going to set you both free, free from the guilt and the shame of keeping secrets and holding untruths. There's like a real contraction that lives in our body when we're not telling the truth. And sometimes we don't even know that we're not telling the truth, just to be fair. Sometimes we don't even know that we're keeping the truth from ourselves. And I'm like doing this because I can feel the contraction here. So that does happen, but it feels like this person, this masculine, is aware of the truth and he's just kind of hoping, like I'm hearing denial isn't just a river in Egypt. Like he's kind of hoping that he can just like gloss over or let something just let time heal all wounds. But the fact of the matter is, with the way this one is turned, with the way the feminine is turned and her arms are crossed, the fact of the matter is that the truth actually does need to drop in to set both of these people free. Him from the contraction of keeping an untruth from her and also from himself, and her from the contraction of not being able to be in choice about a path that she chooses. Though from the arms crossed, I see that she might have already chosen a path. So I'm going to leave him here and I'm going to come over to her and I'm going to see if I can get her to uncross her arms and talk to me a little bit. The feeling over here, the feeling with our feminine who's more in her masculine energy, the feeling over here is like been there, done that, and like nope, and like this real like fuck you energy. Like I am not doing that. I'm not doing that is what I'm hearing. And there's like real, like my back is to you. I'm moving forward. But what I'm seeing, the truth underneath her stance and her back being turned, it's like almost as if she wants to look over her shoulder and glance back to see if he's watching, to see if he's noticing that her back is turned, because she actually wants him to be looking at her is the feeling. And the feeling of nope feels much more like lip service, and the body language feels much more like lip service than what's actually happening in the heart space. So I'm going to see if I can get her to soften a little bit and talk to me. And then there's like a nope still. Nope. But here's what's underneath that nope. There is layer upon layer of wounding that has actually it feels like it's actually being unpacked or has been unpacked. The what I'm seeing, it's like almost as if spirit has drawn my attention to like tail feathers. It's like almost as if she has like examined, like spread out her tail feathers, like all of like what's behind her, and somehow like the tail. Um, I don't know this about birds. I know this about helicopters, but like the tail rotor is all about balance, and it feels like this feminine has like examined all of her tail feathers and spread them out in such a way that she knows what each of these tail feathers are that are keeping her system in balance. And but what is actually happening here is what is actually happening, spirit? I'm like, I'm seeing this beautiful image. I'm still seeing her arms crossed. I'm still seeing her looking back to see if he's looking at her, but she's also looking down at the tail feathers, and she's okay. So the feeling is like he just gonna be like another lesson? Is he gonna be another? I don't know if they're being plucked, like each tail feather is being plucked, or if they're being put in. The feeling is if I pluck a tail feather from her, as if to say like nope, like to honor her, what she's like her words are speaking, nope, then she loses a little balance. But I can see where if she plugs in this new tail feather, like if it's an additive tail feather, it actually brings her into balance and helps her balance. I don't know what this means, and I'm trying to get spirit to show me. And this is what I mean by sort of going around in circles when I don't know where I'm going and I'm just going on imagery. So I'm going to be quiet and see what's happening here. Ultimately, what I'm feeling from her is mixed signals. I'm feeling mixed signals that she genuinely wants this person. She genuinely wants to turn. Actually, here's what it is. She wants to turn around and she wants to come into the middle, but she's at this point where she can just like add. I think it's an additive. I think we're like sewing in a new tail feather, like we're weaving in another chapter of her story, and she's going to go walking off this way. And I can see now she's got one foot forward, her arms are crossed, but she's still looking back, and I can see where she is looking back and hoping that her masculine, that this masculine will come forward into the center space. And you know what it is? She is waiting. She's making it really hard for him. She's making it really hard for him to come toward her, because all he's seeing, all he's feeling is her back to him, her arms crossed, and these tail feathers, like almost as if he knows that he's adding a layer of trouble, a layer of trauma to her backstory. But what he doesn't realize is that this is part of her healing and it's part of her rebalancing. Okay, I think I really just landed it. So what has been perceived as like just another chapter of another story of another wounding in this person's book, it's actually adding more balance to who she is as a human, because what happened between them has actually been very much in service of their mutual healing. And so what this feminine doesn't see is that this chapter, this rupture, this fracture has added to her healing, has added to her story, and she can soften a little bit. Like by holding herself away, she's actually keeping healing, more healing. She's keeping that truth at bay, the truth that she wants to have come forward from him. She's keeping it further away from herself. And what she's being invited to do by spirit, if you were seeing yourself in this feminine energy, she is being invited to stop looking over her shoulder, to uncross her arms, and to turn around and gaze at her masculine. And again, I'm seeing this, it feels romantic in nature, it feels very much a soul bond, but I want to tell you that it doesn't need to be romantic. This can be friendship, this can be family. This is a soul bond, and soul bonds take many shapes and forms. I can see where if this feminine turns around and faces him, I can see where both of them soften and both of them begin to step forward. The feminine with new balance, a new sense of balance, a rebalancing has happened. I can see where when she uncrosses her heart, like this feels like it was an act of protection, but when she uncrosses her heart, what actually happens, oh, it's really actually very beautiful. It's um it's very sweet and beautiful. What actually happens is you can see the love pouring from her that is moving into the mutual space between them, and you can see it like washing into him. And while his heart isn't fully open yet, because there still is that fear, there still is that like childlike desire to just stretch out the time and hope that nobody has to acknowledge what happened between them. What I'm seeing is as that love pours forward, as that light pours forward, it actually has a softening and an opening effect in him, and his light begins to pour forward into her. And this truth that needs to come in between them, whatever it is, wherever it is on that scale of like egregious to not so egregious, like I don't want to let him off the hook because he clearly there was something that happened here. But from not so egregious to pretty egregious up here. Wherever that betrayal happened on this scale, it just allows everything to soften into a perspective. It's almost like the moment in time, the moments of the betrayal or what was leading up to the betrayal gets encapsulated in the space between them and held in their mutual love so that it can be looked at without causing further harm. And that is like the beauty of this, like what's happening here. If they can turn around and face one another, whatever was between them, and I can feel by her energy that she definitely has some part in this too, so we're not going to let her off the hook. But whatever it is that has happened between them comes into this really illuminated by love, encapsulated, like almost like floating in a crystal ball or a bubble. It becomes encapsulated, and the two of them can look at it together through this lens of love. Because what I feel like has happened, what I feel like has happened and occurred between these two people was not out of lack of love, but it was out of fear, it was out of shame, it was out of past wounding, it was out of a different time and space. And I'm also hearing wrong time, like wrong timing. Whatever it was that happened just gets shrunken into something to look at together through a lens of love. And I'm going to remind you that I'm not in the business of predicting the future. So I'm not going to tell you what is going to happen between these two people. But what I can see for sure is that what happens between these two people is that they can softly and gently look at what happened and make the next right decision for themselves from there. But first, our masculine needs to come forward and be willing to tell the truth sooner. And the feminine can invite that to happen in this mutual space by uncrossing her arms and turning around and allowing that light to beam toward him. He, in turn, will beam his light, and what happened between you will be encapsulated in a lens of loving, perhaps forgiveness, just lovingly looking at what happened together in a new way. Okay. I think I was looking over there, or like my physical body was over there. It is what it is. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, hype, do all the things and the stuff. Come back and see me tomorrow. I will hopefully have lighting. I've yet to have lighting. We'll see if that happens today. And I will see you tomorrow, Thursday. Thursday. I'll see you 10. I can't speak. I'm going to stop speaking. Bye bye. Thank you.